People who have said no to the barber when they asked if their haircut looked good. What's your story? I had a really uneven trim with a couple of bald patches in it once, so I just asked the barber to shave my head completely and I'd start over from zero. He tried to charge me for both haircuts, but I refused to double dip. Lol, I fucked up so bad I'm just going to buzz your whole head, but I want you to pay double for the privilege. My friend was getting a haircut before going on a work trip and he wanted skin tight on the sides and a medium fade. Barber gave him a low and my friend asked to get it higher and the barber was said it would be charged as a separate haircut. That's when the barber gets paid for 0 haircuts. I asked for a skin fade that tapers into what I have on top. She went down to skin all the way up. Told her this isn't what I asked for. She got snarky and said I needed to be clearer next time. I paid the bill after she shortened the top to better match the now bald sides of my head. I may not know all the names for barber equipment, but I've been getting this haircut for years and literally everyone but her was able to produce what I requested. Ask me how old I am. Ask me how many years I've been getting my hair cut. Ask me how many times I've been getting this cut. Now ask me why you're the only one who's ever messed it up. If a stylist messes and gets offended that you point it out, don't tip and make it a point you won't let them do your hair again. So in the US you tip the barber too? Had a barber offer a hot towel shave at the end of my haircut because he was trying to kill a few extra minutes before he clocked out without having to take another waiting customer. Barber used a Mach 3 razor and absolutely butchered my face. Halfway through the shave people just kept staring at me with blood running down my face while the barber was packing some cornstarch bullshit in the scrapes/cuts. He said, "Wow, you have really sensitive skin," and I replied, "Most skin is sensitive when you fucking remove it with a razor." I just pulled the towel off and walked out of the shop, bloody, half shaved and fully pissed off. My brother thought I got jumped on my way, there was so much blood on my shirt/neck. Best part is, I only got the haircut for professional headshots being taken the next day. Yeah, that didn't happen. Shitty part is, guy was my go-to barber for a few years. Haven't been back since. Edit, a word. Edit 2, obligatory thanks for the silver stranger, my first one sniffle. A hot towel shave with a Mach 3. Aren't you glad he didn't use a straight? I'd be instantly suspicious of any barber that wanted to do a hot towel shave with a cartridge razor. I could do that myself, dude. Definitely. The second I saw a cartridge razor in hand I would be like what you plan on doing there? Straight razor shaves rock. Totally worth the extra few bucks. I didn't say anything cause all my hair was gone. Asked for a 5 all over. She thought I said 0. Yeah, 5 and 0 are close, I can see the confusion. If it helps, she had a heavy accent and kept asking what number 1 wanted. I kept saying 5. How long you want? I'll have a 5. What number? A 5 please. You want 0? No. I want a 5 on top. Okay, 0 for you. I do 0 anyway. No, absolutely not. I do 0 anyway. She shaved my sideburns up to about 1.5 inches above my ear. I didn't say anything, just sat there looking pissed. She goes, "It'll look good if you put some gel in it." I went up front to pay, thought about not paying, paid anyway. 4 people got up and left behind me who were waiting. Never again, Mr. Cuts. Never again. Edit, I had to wear a beanie for a month during a hot summer in Ga until they grew back. A baseball cap wouldn't cut it. My boss was against me wearing a beanie at work initially until I took it off. I had a person at Mr. Cuts give me white walls around my ears. Like, I asked her to keep it tight and I got a solid inch clear cut all the way around my ears. I looked like Turbo Gump. That was the cut that made me find a barber and keep him. Edit, shiny metal for my shitty haircut. I'll allow it. Both of you got me fucking dying right now. Mayo white walls and deleted sideburns. Not me, but my dad. Went to get our hair cut before a soccer game back when I was about 12. Got mine first, was fine. Sat down while dad got his hair cut. Cue the barber doing the usual, holding the mirror asking if everything looks good. My dad sits still for a minute quietly and says sternly, "That's the worst fucking haircut I've ever had in my fucking life." Everyone just sat there for what seemed like 10 minutes before we just got up and walked out. Nothing else was said. I was beyond fucking embarrassed, and the haircut seemed like the same fucking haircut my dad had gotten since 1980, no better or worse. Still not sure if he just did it to avoid paying, which would be very likely, but he maintains to this day it was a fucking terrible haircut. Best part being the minute of stewing before saying anything. I'm fucking dying. OHH, my god, why is this so funny? I once was in the seat next to a guy who said, "Yeah, it's fine, thank you." When he stood up and turned around, I could clearly see his anger in the reflection of the mirror. I don't know why, but this is one of the funniest things when I picture it. When I was a kid, my dad and I would go to the local barber. However, once I became a preteen, when you become self-conscious about your hair, my dad and I both noticed our haircuts were getting shittier and shittier. The next time we went, I watched the barber focused on what the barber was doing while cutting hair to see if I could identify what he was doing wrong. It turns out he had become so complacent that he would fixate on the Cubs game on the TV hanging from the ceiling while cutting hair, not even looking at the person's head. I told him it sucked and never went back. So there was a Cubs game on every time you went to get a haircut? I'm someone who hates bangs. They don't look nice on me, and they annoyingly tickle my forehead. Every time I meet my barber, she keeps insisting on giving me bangs, and I always say no, and it clearly pisses her off, until one time she accidentally cut a chunk of my front hair and would have to give me bangs to make it look good now. I knew she did it in purpose cause she was playing with my front hair for a bit before suddenly making the cut. That was the last time I went to her. Thankfully my current barber agrees with me that bangs aren't my style. Edit. Holy shit, this blew up. If people must know, I didn't tip her and didn't have to pay the extra time it took to cut the bangs, but it did take me a whole year to finally grow it out and get the style I wanted. That honestly makes my blood boil. Did you walk out or stay and pay her? Give them the trusty old negative tip equivalent to the price of the cut. Works every time. So kick her in the shins and steal her scissors? Kick her in the scissors and steal her shins. When I was a kid, my mom would always take me to the same place to get my hair cut, and I would always end up crying because that lady clearly had no idea what she was doing. I didn't even hold it in until I left the place. I would just tell her that I hated the look and start crying. My mom kept taking me there thinking I was just a stupid kid that would never be happy with their haircut. She was wrong. Now that I've changed several hairdressers, I've been going to the same one for a few years and I really adore her. The day you finally find a barber/hairdresser who cuts your hair exactly as you want, that is a good day indeed. And then they die and you just start cutting your hair yourself. And then you realize you suck, and your friends and family have been pretending you're doing a good job for months, even years, perhaps out of love. Then the search begins again, having grieved for your barber long enough. I've been there more than once. I just skip this step and find another. Okay, I'll bite. Why the fuck do your barbers keep dying? I wanted my hair cut very short. I keep it short now. Clipped #1 on the sides and #2 on top. Back when this happened, I think I asked for a #3 clipper on the sides and finger thickness on top, blended to the sides. She picked up the clippers and popped in a #1 blade and went right over the top of my head like a reverse mohawk, and then said, "Oops, you wanted a 1 on top, right?" I had to get it #1 all over. This was the day before my friend's wedding that I was going to. I looked like a goon. I had an undercut and decided to clean up the sides with a #2 before my friend's wedding. Forgot to put the guard on and zapped a huge bald chunk out of it. One of the few times in my adult life I was about to emotionally break. My amazing GF shaved the rest down to #1 and somehow fixed the spot with some acute magic that made it near invisible. I'll be eternally grateful to her. It was a $5 Vietnamese joint, so expectations were to be tempered, but it was always good enough for me, especially since I'm a dude and I don't need to worry that much about my hair. One time this lady gives me the Jimkari cut in Dumb and Dumber, and I was like, yeah, no, how about you just break it up a little in the front? Not so straight? She was a good sport about it. Yeah, if you're paying less than $10 for a haircut, you're just asking to be fucked up once in a while. I used to do $5 haircuts before parties with dog hair clippers I bought for $10 at Walgreens. I think I did a good enough job, except I lived in a frat, so I was usually drunk when I did them.